Welcome to another short demonstration video of Resolve Actions, the only platform that enables you to automate all of IT. So in today's video, let's look at how Resolve Actions can automate expanding disks on servers, especially virtualized servers. When a server is running out of free disk space, an application or business service outage is usually fast approaching. A monitoring event or alarm might raise an incident and a change request may be created, and eventually an IT engineer might be involved. Using Windows and VMware vCenter, they must log into each of these and discover the mapping from the Windows or Linux server disk back to the VMware VMDK file. They'll expand the file and wait for that step to complete. Then they'll log into the server, select the disk, and extend that. Maybe they'll need to update the change request or incident ticket too. So to summarize, the current process is reactive, leading to a delayed response usually, which means an actual outage is more likely to occur. And outages mean low customer satisfaction or possibly financial penalties. I'm going to quickly demonstrate how the Resolve Actions automation platform can provide a rapid response that will dramatically increase your operational efficiency. This runbook or automation could be triggered automatically by the event or monitoring tool, or maybe in a self-service scenario. We'll completely eliminate the manual effort of about 30 minutes or so it currently takes IT. We'll show you how automation can reduce that down to just 2 or 3 minutes of compute time. Resolve will help you be more proactive, respond instantly, avoid possible outages, and keep our customers or your users happy and productive. So today we're going to focus on Windows servers that have been virtualized using VMware. The same concepts apply to Linux servers as well as if you were using Amazon AWS, EC2, Microsoft Hypervisor or Azure, etc. Okay, now it's usual to want to expand a specific disk, volume, or mount point from within the guest operating system itself. And to do this, you need to translate that Windows disk, what Windows sees, into what VMware sees, so the VMDK file. So for example, Windows sees a drive E that I've highlighted here, and drive E. We must discover the exact VMDK file under VMware in order to expand that VMDK file first before we can expand the disk or partition within Windows. So this is the Windows computer that I want to expand. So using the disk management console, we can see some disks here, such as the C drive and E drive. We've also got some other mount points as well. For example, the SharePoint logs mount point or volume. If I go and click on that, you can see that there is a volume that's been mounted to a folder within the C drive, and that's one we're going to expand from 38 gig. Okay, back to the Resolve console. Now the first thing we want to do here is specify the computer name that we want to discover all the disks and volumes and mount points on. I click on the Submit button. Resolve is going to integrate with that Windows computer and retrieve all the disks, volumes, partitions, and mount points, which you can see are now displayed here. Now that we've performed this discovery automatically without specifying any usernames or passwords, we can proceed to the next part of the process. Resolve has a built-in guided procedure that allows us to break up an automation into different steps. Each part can be reused elsewhere within your automations too. Okay, so let's click on Expand a Disk or Volume. This takes us to the next part of the guided procedure. The computer name has been pre-populated for us, and we can now select one of the items from the drop-down list here. So it was the SharePoint logs folder I wanted to expand. I'm going to choose that mount point here because it's more complicated to translate that back to a VMware VMDK file. And I'm going to choose to expand this disk just by 1 gig. And I click on the automation button. Okay, the runbook or automation is now started, and there are several pre-checks that we've added into the automation that must happen first before we attempt to actually expand the disk. So first, we'll check how many times this disk has already been expanded by. If it's more than 100 gig or more than 5 times, then we may want further approval to happen. If that's the case, in this case, we have expanded this by more than 5 times, so we'll pause the automation. We'll send the email out to a person or team and wait for the reply of that email to be returned to Resolve before the automation can continue from where it last left off. Okay, so I've just replied to that email that's been sent to me. When Resolve receives that email, it will continue to do some more pre-checks on the VMware configuration. So Resolve will integrate with vSphere to query the VMware VMX configuration, as well as determining if any snapshots exist on this VMware server. If they do, then we shouldn't expand the disk. Next, we'll log into the Windows computer to get some further information about this disk and translate what Windows sees into the actual VMDK file on the VMware server. Again, we'll integrate with VMware and vSphere to do this and then expand the VMDK file by the specified size. After that completes successfully, Resolve will then log back into the Windows computer, refresh the disk configuration, and expand the relevant disk partition or mount point. You can see in the automation this has now been successful. Resolve will then store this information in its database so that it can be retrieved again in the future. For example, when we need to check how many times this disk has already been expanded by, etc. Let's now flip back into our Windows computer, and we'll be able to see that this disk has now been expanded to the new size, 39 gig. Thank you for watching another use case demonstration by Resolve, our automation platform that can automate all of IT.